Joining us today is Benita C. Gordon, an edupreneur and turnaround specialist redefining education as a high-touch, 5-star concierge service. Benita is the founder of the Global Education Concierge and host of the Education Concierge Podcast. Benita is a force of productive disruption. She moves beyond talk to build the actual infrastructure for change, championing micro-schooling and wraparound services that honor the whole student. Please welcome Benita C. Gordon.
Woo! I didn't even know I did all of that. That black girl magic. Let's go. Shoot. I'm going to 2026 right.
What you mean you didn't know you did all that?
Because, I mean, it's, you do the things and you're not. It's just always interesting to hear people read your resume or research about you because you're like, I am doing that. I'm disrupting some stuff of it.
For listeners new to your world, what is an education concierge and why is this high-touch approach the missing piece in our current system?
So let me tell you something. I don't like to follow rules. I'm the middle child. I'm a May Gemini. And my mom and daddy was like, you don't know how to color inside the circle. So basically, what I love is, so let me preface this by I'm raised black bougie from Virginia. And y'all know how you went to the hotels and you had that concierge and your daddy be like, hey, we need tickets to this, or I have a family of 5. We want this restaurant. And the concierge would be like, no problem. And they charge you to the room. So in the world of education, we have all of these issues and concerns going on from parents to educators to community people. And I just kept seeing like this gap, like community people not talking to the teachers, teachers not talking to the next group of teachers, then teachers on plan of action. They don't know whether they're going left or right. Administrators walking around oblivious of things. And so I said, you know what? Y'all need a concierge. And actually one of my good friends, that's what she used to call me, because she would call me about education, about her kids. And I would be like, oh, do this and do that. Or I'm flying out there. I'm an advocate. She was like, what? I was like, I flew out there. They were tripping. And so she was like, you're like our own little concierge about education. And I was like, that's something. And then I Googled, like, what's a concierge again? And I'm like, yeah. And so we help people navigate the education system. And because I'm a country girl, from the rooter to the tutor. So from the beginning to the end, we help you navigate. And we work with parents, other educators, educational institutions, and community engagement organizations. And that's what we do. Like, education sometimes is a mystery. And it's not.
It's not. I don't think it should be, for sure. You mentioned in your response that, you was like community isn't talking to the teachers. Teachers ain't talking to the next group of teachers. So when did that happen? Because I feel like, so I grew up in Oklahoma. I grew up in a small town, I shouldn't say small town, but I grew up in southern Oklahoma, a little town, probably about 20,000 people at the time I was there, called Ardmore. And so I feel like, when I grew up, teachers and parents talked. You see them in the grocery store, you went to church with them, whatever. But now it's like, when did that disconnect happen, or how did it happen?
So several different reasons. We grew up in an era where parents didn't have to work as hard. 5 p.m. they were off work.
Yeah.
And if they did like a side hustle, like my grandma sold Avon. Okay. That's not a difficult job. Or, your dad is a barber. You're closed on Saturday, you're busy, but Sunday you're closed. We're at church. They're going to make it out to your football game. We're going to see you in the community. The school brought the community in. And then we went to bigger schools. Your kid wants to go to a charter school. Your kid wants to go to a school on the other side of town because they have the arts program. And so the community school, we moved away from it. And so that's how we kind of lost a little bit of it. But also parents are working triple jobs. We went from thriving to now we're striving, or is a little bit a mixture of both. And people always want to be like, oh, it's because it's a single parent. No, player. We have 2 parents in the house working hard to manage and maintain. And so they're missing sometimes the communication or the touch and feel aspect of being able to go into the school. And so that's where we come in. So we're like, okay, hey, you're still doing your PTA meetings at 7 or 6 p.m. and they're still working. So why can't you record it? Why can't you have a virtual aspect so they can at least listen in while they're working? Why can't you record it and then they can watch it later? Then volunteer. Volunteer looks different. Volunteering looks different for so many different people. So why are you just saying, oh, you need to come to the bake sale? I don't have time for that. I don't even like that. Like, what else can I do? Because what I can do is I can do the Google form, I can do the sign up form, I can create the flyers on Canva, I can do other things that I want to be engaged with. So we went away from the traditional, and I say traditional because that's how we were raised. But we also have to. It's like being a Girl Scouts, make new friends and keep the old. You have to just keep the foundation, but we do have to adjust to where we are now. And we saw that during COVID. We were doing PTA meetings and school board meetings online. You were able to record it and watch the video later on. So why are we trying to go back to the Stone Age?
Right.
And that's where concierge comes in. Like, how do we think outside the box? Everybody's scared about AI. Well, what you scared of something that's already here?
It's been here, not already here, been here.
Because
we just haven't had access to it on a consumer level. You know what I mean?
Because I was like, I know my phone. My colleague and I were talking about the baby shower for the girl at work. Why my phone sending me diapers? I don't know if this diaper video. Is this diaper ad coming? No, sir. And so we know that our phones have been listening. We know we've had AI in certain aspects, like you said, not on the consumer side, but in our schools, we've been using AI for a minute. How you think you're getting scanned into the building? Like, what are you talking about? What do you think is happening? And so we just have to take those things that are scary or those things that we don't normally do and do it to make sure the education moves ahead. So that's where I come in.
Got you. So productive disruption. That's what I would label it. Productive disruption. So I get, I imagine someone like you and how boisterous you are. You don't really run into too many walls because you probably run through the walls.
So I grew up, so my dad is from small town. He's from Scriven County, Georgia. And our dad's 80 years old. And growing up, I have an older sister and a younger brother. There's 5 years between us. And our mom was from Virginia. And my mom and dad used to tell us, like, no isn't the final answer. Go around that person. Go around them, go over the wall, go through. Now, that got me in a lot of trouble. But I was like, I'm listening to what my parents told me. And I'm like that. Like, my mom's like, she's like, you came out ready. She's like, you were the child that came out ready, came out screaming, was like, what's up? Why are we still here? And I think that does help with being a disruptor. I don't know any disruptors that are like quiet, because I don't know what you're disrupting. Like, even in the Bible, the disruptors were loud.
Right.
They were thoughtful. They were sneaky, but they got things done. And I think that's important for you to be able to say what you mean and mean what you say and not be scared. Like, I'll sit in the faculty meeting and be like, I ain't finna do that. Nope. I mean it. Like, I meant that. Like, my principal was looking at me like, okay, I was saying, I know we're going to meet about it in the morning, but I'm not finna do that. It's been one principal. She checked me, a soror. She was like, what you gonna do? And I was like, I'll think about it. And I did. I went home and I thought about it because what she said was, you are a leader,
mm-hmm.
and I am the leader. And I'm asking you to fall in line with me. And it's how she presented it. And I was like, you're right. Because it is the best thing for the kids. I just didn't like how she presented it. I was like, I'm not doing it.
Right. I think, man, I don't want to say that. Let me rephrase.
It's your podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think in some of the urban schools I've worked in, I think that kind of attitude happens a lot, is that teachers or staff, period, we get caught up in the tone something was delivered versus, the message. And because of that, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Fire me. You know what I'm saying? Make my day.
Hey. Fire me, but you won't. No, and I love that you said that, because that's what happened. And she wasn't talking to me personally. It was just how she presented it. I was like, that don't make any kind of sense. But when we sat down and we looked at numbers and looked at the program and tweaked it to fit our culture at our school, and that's a good leader. A good leader takes the other leaders, the teacher leaders, the department chairs, and say, hey, come in here. And then she realized her mistake, because she hadn't done that. She hadn't called us in first so we could get an understanding of what it was and what she wanted.
Right.
Before she delivered it to the entire school. So many of us leaders were sitting there like, and I was just the one that said out loud, I'm not doing that.
Right. So when it comes to you being an education concierge and a productive disruptor and just wanting to be more student-centered, student-focused, and do what's best for the student community, all that, how does that start? Like, how does it start? Like, does somebody just reach out to you? Do you just see some gaps and just jump in like Wonder Woman? I mean, what laughing.
I love me some Wonder Woman. So it's a little bit of both. So whenever you're a consultant, it is, hey, I see this school system. Let me reach out to them, kind of see where I can fit in. Or they have an RFP and you're like, let me fill this out because they're looking for somebody. Sometimes it'll be like, I also work with micro schools or some homeschool communities. And they're like, hey, we're almost there or something's missing. Can you come observe? A lot of times I've gone into schools and they're like, can you just come observe and give us a list of what you see as a third party? And I'm like, ooh, you sure you all that? Because I would see a lot. And then we talk through that. And a lot of times I may not be the consultant that they hire to fix some things because you have to target certain things.
Right.
Or they may have a consultant, but they don't feel like that person is doing the right thing or doing what they want. So they still call me in to look again.
Okay.
And so it just depends on what your needs are. I've had teachers who reached out there on a plan of action. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So what are we working with? Let me see what it says. And a lot of times, rarely do I tell the person no. Because if you have a heart for education, we can teach you the rest of it.
Right.
If you don't have a heart for education, I'm going to say no. If you don't like kids, I'm going to be like, what you?
Man, see, you didn't opened up a can of worms. You didn't open it up. You didn't open it up. And I'm that guy that like, when something on my mind, I have to go that route. I have to. And you just said that magic thing. You said, if you got a heart for education or if you don't like kids while you're here, right? Now, this is going to be very harsh. This is my opinion only. But I have ran across several teachers, and I mean several, that I don't know if I just caught them on a bad day or a bad year when I work with them, but their actions demonstrate that they have a very low tolerance for kids. Or I would even go as far as to say, I'd question if they really like kids. Why are there so many folks like that in a profession that's all you do is work with kids?
So I love how you said bad day or bad year. Because there's a difference. We've all had a bad day. We're like, F them kids. Like, you've had that day. I was in middle school. Look, like right about now, when we get ready to go on break, I'm like, you, what can you do to get an A? Nothing. You ain't turned in no work. What you talking about? Leave me alone. Like, what are you talking to me? That is a bad day.
Right.
I'm coming to vent to my colleagues. I'm going to vent to my significant other. I'm going to vent to the Lord driving home and drive home in silence. Like, that is a bad day. And sometimes it is a bad week. Testing week is always like a bad week. Like, right. Everybody on edge, everybody tired. We done made the kids frustrated. Administration made us frustrated. Everybody frustrated.
Right.
Passing up chocolate, hot chocolate. You trying to bring me Starbucks. I got you. A bad year can sometimes be administrative or it can be personal. And you can tell the difference. That's like an up and down.
Yes.
Like, I'm good one day and then I'm bad the next day. But burnout is real.
Okay.
And so I feel like first I need to figure out, is it burnout or you just don't like your kids? Because burnout is so real that it'll show up as, I don't like these kids.
Yes. Yeah.
What really is, I am bombarded. I can't stand on a leg. I can't get up from underneath whatever this is. Y'all keep giving me stuff. I can't figure it out.
Right.
I'm burned out. That's not the same thing. But you're right. I will say 10%. I'm like, why are you here? Like, who let you in? How you get in here? And there's no test. Like, you want to have a good HR, you want to have good recruitment and good interviews, people in the interviews, but sometimes they slip in. Sometimes they come in through a program. We're not going to talk about them. And so I'm always leery of saying they don't like kids and always looking at, are you burned out? Because that is real. Educators are burned out and we don't even understand that we are just working on fumes.
That's real. I respect that. And maybe I need to start framing it differently because if from my purview, it's like, man, y'all don't like kids, but that's real.
You just got to unpack it. So you just got to start asking the questions. We have to ask each other questions like, what happened today? What's wrong? Who did it? They need to come to my room next period. Like, what's up? And start, because we were, like, y'all, thank you. Shout out to the educators that work with my crazy book, because y'all are VIPs. Because I'd be like, hey, take this note over to Mr. White. And they'd be like, Mr. White, Miss Gordon says she need the pink daffodil pencil. And you'd be like, the pink daffodil pencil? But you know that's our code to keep this joker in your room because I'm getting observed.
Got you.
Yeah, keep him. Or I would come over, you'd be like, Miss Gordon, didn't you say you needed John and Timmy? I said, yeah, because they missed that reading test because they were skipping. Come on in here and take this test. And you missed the whole class you were skipping and you owe me a class period. And they sitting there like, I want these kids, shut up. Get in this room. And so little things like that help with burnout. When I was the department chair, I was a dean, I would walk around and be like, you need this bathroom, you need a break. They'd be like, girl, yes. Come on. And I just stand in the door. But keep working. Keep working. You know, don't talk to me. But teachers, we schedule's not built in. We can't get to the bathroom.
Right.
You can't go get a soda out of the machine. You can't go get some water. You can't even refill your water bottle.
Man, you know, we talk about teachers so much, but you just brought up a good point. You said that, you know, when you was a dean or whatever, you walk around, hey, you need to go to the bathroom. That's rare. I think I've only at one placement, maybe two, there was administrators that did something like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what's the administrator burnout look like? Are they just as burned out as a teacher? I would imagine so.
They are. Oh, when they don't eat, they know. Like my administrators knew. I'd be like, did you eat? What you doing? Why are you eating a cracker? You ain't eat lunch. Okay. And then, look, I tell people all the time, I don't know it didn't matter what school I was in, my administrators were going to come to my room and hang out. Why are you in here? The kids were like, you get observed again. No, they just in here. And I always had like a little lounge. Yeah. And administrators would come in, they would turn their walkie down, and they would just sit. Or they would answer emails. Or they'd be like, I got something to turn in. The superintendent waiting on me. They'd be in the back of my room. They not paying attention to anything we're doing. They zoned.
Yep.
But that's burnout. Like, you can't even sit in your own office because they looking for you. They tracking you down. And then I've had people come in my room and be like, you seen Principal so-and-so? And I'm like, they sitting at my desk.
Right.
But I'm teaching. I'm like, I ain't seen them. And the kids looking at me and be like, man, you mind your business. You an adult business. You be quiet. Administrators are burned out. And they also don't recognize burnout. You haven't taken leave. You're at the school Saturday and Sunday. You done missed church, synagogue, and mosque. You still at the school, and you didn't delegate. You didn't delegate because you don't trust your staff. What you doing? And so that's a sign of burnout. You don't trust the assistant principals. Y'all vying for each other. You don't get along. Your department chairs don't do what you want them to do. You didn't train them, but they're not ready. And then you're doing everything, and you don't eat lunch, and they don't go to the bathroom either. And they be having bathrooms in their office, but you're not in your office.
Yeah, that's wild.
So all of us need to use our EAP, go talk to a therapist till you use it up. You use it up. We need to use our personal days. I'm like, oh my God, we can't get subs. I don't have nothing to do with that. I'm going to take this day.
For those listening, EAP, Employee Assistance Program.
Thank you. And if you don't know about your EAP, you missed it out because I used it. A kid acted up and be like, oh no, let me call a therapist. I need a therapist. Let me talk this out because I don't put my hands on these children.
Right.
And our mom was sick. I was still teaching. Our mom had cancer. I used the EAP. Hey, I'm trying to balance this. I'm not sure how I'm going to make it. And I didn't. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to resign because we got to take care of mom.
Right.
But that was helpful because the therapist through the EAP helped me walk through the stages. Y'all, these new parents, y'all just got married. Any change of life, people shooting up the school or shooting around the school. The lady the other day posted ice circling her school. That's EAP.
Right.
Where we need to protect the kids from ice. I don't know. I'm not even trained. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to throw some hot water out there. Like, I don't know. What do you do? What are we doing?
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny.
Burnout is real for everybody. Administrators, deans, gap counselors, teacher assistants, because we pull them and make them sub a whole class.
Yep, for sure. For sure. I will tell you this, or where I kind of want to pivot or kind of ask about is I know burnout has led some people that I know personally to think about teaching differently or actually teach differently by going to a different model, such as micro schooling. I know a few teachers that have started their own micro school. And I know micro schooling isn't anything new. And it's been around for probably decades, probably even centuries. And it's just now kind of, what that buzzword, whatever. And so I guess, what are your thoughts on micro schooling, homeschooling, or any other non-traditional school system?
Come on, let's do it. I love innovative education. We know these kids not learning.
I don't know that. For anybody that's watching this podcast, I don't know that.
We do. We look at it. You got 35 kids in the class. I'm not getting to every kid. Let's just be realistic. Like, I'm not teaching every kid. And every kid is not taught the same way. We have 35 different little people human beings in front of us. Some learn, I need to be on technology. Some I need to touch it. I need to read it out loud. I need to do this. Some have real significant learning disabilities we never even identified. Then we have ones that have learning disabilities that are identified, but I don't know how to help them because nobody told me how to help them. And so anything that's innovative and creative, but still educating the kids, I welcome it. Homeschool. As long as you are having a curriculum and you're teaching your kids, even unschooling has a plan behind it. I'm not talking about the parents that just let their kid, you're not doing anything. Your kid's just staying home. That's not what I'm talking about. You're in violation.
Okay.
Because then they're in the fifth grade and they can't read. I'm not talking to you. I don't know what you're doing.
So, hey, real quick. Sorry, I got to interject. Unschooling. I have not heard that one. Unschooling?
So unschooling means that it's not as a strict plan. Like homeschool parents, they be on a plan. They be having a whole planner. And they're like, we're doing, the kids start maybe 8, 9, 10. They're doing these little activities and we're going to a zoo. There's a reason behind it. We're getting together. Unschooling is not as scripted. It's not as planned. I told somebody, it's like Montessori, but like rogue. Like, we're going to play in the sand and I'm watching you and I'm doing it. And then I might bring out some measuring cups. But like, measure this. And what is this? And how do you do this? Or here's some water and build it. So it's not as scripted. It's not as purposely planned, but it's kind of like, I see this happening naturally. Let me go in and shape it and mold it a little bit more.
Okay.
And so it's not like we're not going to start class at 10. We may not start class till 1. You might have slept all day. You might have played outside, or you might be like, hey, I want to build a bike ramp. Okay, let's get some measurements. Let's go get some wood. Let's get some angles. And so you just kind of take what's there and turn it into a lesson.
So unschooling is basically daycare.
No, we're not babysitting the kids now. They're my kids. Why am I babysitting my kids?
I mean, okay, you ain't babysitting. But I mean, what you described, isn't that what they do at daycare?
Well, I didn't go to daycare. I went to a learning center. So I don't know what they do in daycare, okay? But what I do know is that it is purposeful, but it's not always planned as detailed.
Okay.
So it is more child-centered. So a child like me, if I say I want to build something and you start coming with me with angles and measurements, I'm shutting down. But you know your child. So you're like, hey, in order for this to work, we do need to try and use some measurements. And then I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Cause I don't want to do it twice. So it's like, that child and you know how that works.
Got you. Okay.
Right. So it's very, but it also means you have to know your children.
Got you.
Okay. So once again, we're not talking about they sitting in front of the TV, YouTube, and they're learning ABCs like that. No, I'll play them. No, but we're outside and they're an outside child and it's snowing. You're like, hey, can you do the alphabets in the front yard? I want to see it. And then we're going to put some dye on it. So then when your daddy comes home, he can see your ABCs and we're going to take a picture. We're going to take a picture and send it to him. That's like more unschooling where you're just taking what they're doing and then teaching the lesson from there.
Okay. Well, that's what I learned for the day because I have never heard the term unschooling.
Right. So it's a rejection of the traditional sit in a row. Everybody got to learn it this way. Where you kind of just go with the child's learning where they are, but you're building upon that.
Gotcha.
Which is what really education should be.
Right. I got it. So when it comes to the other forms, so you said you love anything innovative education, all that, right? So unfortunately, I don't know a lot about microschooling or homeschool. I mean, I know, we all hear the stereotypes and this and that, but how do you monitor progress? How do you make sure the kids will learn? Like, how is that? Are they held to the state standards too? I mean, what's
So microschool is wide open and it depends on where your microschool is located, what state. Are you getting state funding, vouchers? People don't like the word voucher, but that's what it is. Are you getting a voucher from that state and what are the state requirements? Or are you conducting yourself as a private school where the parents are paying out of pocket and there's no state or federal involvement? And then what type of students do you have? I have friends that they're micro school, only neurodivergent or neurospicy students. I have a friend, his is for boys only and it's nature. They're outside the majority of the day. And it's still a curriculum, but it's outside. So like I said, we're talking about sand and we're talking about building stuff. They're outside. And it all comes together. So as the educator, as the parent, as the community organization, you decide what kind of micro school and what your focus is. From there, you decide, are we doing grades or we're getting state vouchers? So Tennessee and Florida, Georgia, Arizona, it's a couple of more now. It's almost up to 20. If you're taking state funding, you do have to do what we call NAEP, or you do have to do some type of state standardized testing the 3 times of the year like you would do in a traditional public school.
Okay.
It's not as stressful because you're like, look, take this test. 9 times out of 10, the kids are excelling because of how you've been presenting the material and teaching it in the micro school. And the micro school classes are smaller. It's more self-paced. So I might have a traditional fifth grader in with a traditional ninth grader, but they're reading on the same level. And so we're going at your pace. We're doing project-based learning. So we might be doing a project, but in that project, we're doing math, science, social studies, reading. We're doing all of the things in this project about saving whales. And so it just looks different because that's who you are. Like my micro school is project-based entrepreneurship. We don't do grades. We don't do A, B, C, D, F, but we do mastery levels. And so when you hit that mastery level, we talk about it, you explain it to me. It's normally a project or presentation. You got it. Let's go. The older kids, they do classes online. So they get online. They're working with a virtual teacher. Then they're teaching each other. The guides are coming in. They're helping reinforce the material. And then you go to the next thing. So micro schools, anyone who opens a micro school, the reason you open a micro school, because you feel like the kids need more access to true learning and true education. So you're not going to not look for growth.
Got you.
Because that's important to us still. Like, I want to make sure that they're being educated because over here they weren't.
Right.
But then as a community, you decide, are we doing grades? Because like I had kids that were going to high school and then they're going to college. So then I look at how do the homeschool parents do that? Because homeschool kids do go to college, but they don't always have grades. And then you still have to take the SAT and the ACT if you want. But some homeschool kids still get into Yale. They still get into Hampton. They still get into Harvard. They still get into Tennessee State without those things. And so how do we get your portfolios together?
It's like you reading my mind, because that was it. That was literally the next question. I was going to say, so kids that, go to micro school or homeschool, like, especially when you go to these micro schools that don't do grades or have a different system than the traditional route, what does their college entrance journey look like?
So, and there are platforms that have already been built out by other ed tech companies where you can actually input the information and they will align it, I guess you could say. If you need a grade point average or if you need a grade, you just, you put it in there and you work with the company and then they align it so you have transcripts. But a lot of times you can keep your transcripts. Once they start like 3rd or 4th grade, there are programs you can start doing transcripts online for your students. And it's a lot because parents want to know. Are they on grade level? Are they an A student? And I'm looking at them like, that's not really what we do here.
Right.
So it's some unlearning for educators. It's unlearning for parents. It's unlearning for the kids. But yeah, I do believe in it. And I'm going to say this, and this is me speaking. It is not a us versus them. I'm a product of public school. I taught in public school, charter school, parochial school, overseas school. It's not a us versus them. It is just like the glasses sitting on top of your head. What prescription do you need? I wear glasses and I wear contacts. I don't have them on today because I'm going to be right here. But my prescription has changed since I was a junior in college when I first got them, right? What prescription does your child need to learn? And if that prescription says Montessori, then that's where they need to go. If that prescription says public traditional school, they need to go there. If you found a charter school that has the arts, that's where they need to go. So what prescription does your child need to learn? That's why we have different places of innovative education for them to go to.
Gotcha, man. So if I said the term minimum Monday, does that mean anything to you?
Yes, I love me a good minimum Monday.
What is it?
Stop coming here talking to me on Monday.
Explain to everyone what minimum Monday means.
So minimum Monday came out of me just teaching. So I was a Title I turnaround specialist, which means the schools that won't fire, the schools that are failing, the students that nobody won't. Those are the schools I love. Those students look like me. They're black and brown. They're being kids, but sometimes the circumstances around them are rough and tough. but they're still kids. And what I learned is that because we sent them home on a Friday and they came back to us on Monday, stuff had happened. Everybody's weekend isn't always good. Everybody's not always safe in their home. All the things are happening in the community, at the house, and it just is not always happy and good. And so here I am. Good morning. Hey, y'all. They looking at me like, shut the up. Caveat, I was in middle school. I was a middle school teacher. So they're looking at me like, sit down. Or I'm greeting them at the door trying to get a pulse, trying to get a read, and they coming in like, I'm like, I need to get the oil. We need to get the oil. Jesus, what is happening? And I have the music on playing because I like to set the atmosphere in my room, and it was not working. And so I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. So I took like a piece of paper and I started putting on there minimum Monday. Check off this is what you need to do. You ain't got to talk to me. You don't have to speak to me. You have to say good morning. And you have to say good morning to another person. And that's what minimum Monday is. Minimum talking. We need to reset our bodies, and we need to reset into the atmosphere and culture of our school. We need to get your mind right. We need to get your manners right. We need to get your mannerisms right. You've been cussing all weekend. Now we back at work.
Right.
And my students loved it. I would play some music, and I am a rebel teacher. I don't care nothing about y'all talking about phones in the room, blah, 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 blah. Hey, if you put your headphones on and we can't hear your music, or you listen to a podcast, I'm fine. And the kids, they knew they would put their music on. You don't touch your phone again. So you're not texting. And I'm watching. I'm watching. I'm walking around because I'm doing attendance. I might call somebody over to my desk. I'm like, hey, you missing a lot of assignments. What's going on? Or, hey, word on the street is you broke up with old girl. You looking crazy today. Like, what's happening? Like, we're still doing those things, but it's minimal. It is read the board. Start your assignments. I sat at a table. If they were struggling with their assignments, they just got up and came to the table. We talked about it, got them back. It was computer work. It was independent. And they would just check it off. And then we would get to a point where we would do a closing activity together. It may be silent. It may be on the computer. It may be one sentence out loud. Like, if you won $1 million, tell me the first thing you would do. And they were like, run. I'm like, where are you running to? Just like, run. Where are you going? So something like that. And because our students were coming back with a lot of stuff. And here we are in their face, barking directions, barking answers, and their emotional intelligence is not there. Because I had middle school, so that frontal lobe is not fronting. And they don't, I'm still teaching them manners. I'm still teaching them common sense things because they're not getting it. And so I started Minimum Monday, and I was like, you know what? This is the best thing ever. I started taking requests for music. So I would find not the serious radio version, but the calm version, or I would find the instrumental. They loved it. They were like, that's my song, but there's no words. Beyonce's instrumentals would always get them. They were like, and nobody cares you're dancing in your seat. I don't care. I don't care if you're on the beanbags dancing. And so that's Minimum Monday. I suggest everybody try it. Fridays don't work because Fridays we turn up. I love Fridays. But coming back from the weekend, and even as an adult, like, my weekend might not have been good. I don't want to be here. I don't like y'all. I need Minimum Monday. Stop asking me the same question. You know what pencils are. I'm a black woman. Black women, we're going to use hand. And the kids knew. I'd be like, that meant wrap it up.
Right.
Cut it out. And so they knew. And so you just started teaching them, like, it's Minimum Monday. You come in. They knew. They were like, yes, because I ain't got to talk to you. I don't want to hear Miss Gordon voice. I don't even like her.
How do I say this? I have to disagree with you. You know, you said I'm a black woman. I use hand gestures. I would argue, I think it's a cultural thing. I think us as black people tend to use more hand gestures, men and women, because I know my students know when I'm really fed up because the hand gestures come out. Like I'm all sanitized and coiffed or whatever, you know, but then they really get to me that, you know, it's like I'm an air traffic controller.
Hey, everybody get out. Everybody get out.
Yeah. But anyway,
I agree. It is cultural. It is.
Yes.
And mostly black and brown, because I've seen my Hispanic colleagues. I've seen them too. My Latinos. I've seen them.
They threaten that chancla.
Everybody getting in trouble.
Right. You often say education is simply human teachers teaching human students.
Human students.
So why does it feel like building relationships. It feels like there are a lot of our colleagues and a lot of our friends in education that do have amazing hearts still struggle with that relationship piece when all it is human teachers teaching human students.
So, I think some of it is our teacher training before we get into the classroom. I'll never forget, I had an amazing educator. She was like, "Don't smile at them the first thing. And then let you see, and they smile, you weak." And I was like, you just not know my personality. I'm a smiler. My eyes get big. I'm a smile. This big old bright smile. How am I standing at my door telling something? What? That don't even work. And so I think we get into this routine of, I can't let the kids know who I am because I need to be the authority figure. And you are. You're getting the check. I just tell my kids I'm the HNIC. Whatever word you want to put in for in, Negro, Negress, whatever you want to put in, whatever you say in your brain. Okay? That's me. They pay me to be here. I went to school for the degrees. I'm still going to school for the degrees. And anytime you want my job, get your degrees, come knock on the door, and I'm going to exit because at that time, I'm going to be old anyway. And it's going to be time I need to leave. And so I think we have to let go of this. I am the authority figure. And my dad used to tell me, if a man got to tell you he a man, he ain't a man. If you have to tell your students, and I got away from it, if I have to tell my students I'm in charge, I'm not in charge, David.
Right.
It is how I teach them. It is how I treat them. It is how I'm creating a culture in my classroom of learning. I don't know it all. I know a little bit more than you know. I'm a little bit older than you are. We the same size. Matter of fact, y'all taller than I am. I know some of the things, but you know some of the things. I've had students I'm like, hey, how I get this person why they follow me on TikTok? I don't want them. They be like, okay, we're going to show you. I'm like, come here, show me. So they know some things that I learned. I know the foundational things that they need to build upon. And so the reason you can't build a relationship with people is because you think you're the boss.
Mm.
And you feel like if I communicate with them in any type of sort of way other than this authoritarian figure, then it diminishes me. And that's not real. And anybody who knows you teach real human beings and real children, you need to get to know them. Because kids don't learn from people they don't like. And I know my mom is a school teacher. And I'll be like, that teacher does not like me. She's like, it don't matter if the teacher like you, Benita. And I'll be sitting there like, you're right. It matters if I like the teacher. And I didn't like her. And I didn't learn. Every time she said something in my head, I was like, she need to shut up. She asked me a question. My answer was -3, a whole geometry year. -3? My friends be looking at me like, what are you talking about? She was like, prove this is a triangle. In my head, you told us in kindergarten. That was a triangle. Why am I proving this again? Here I am in 7th grade. And I knew I was smart because I'm in the honors gifted program. I know I'm smart. You talking to me like I'm crazy. You crazy. And so if the kid doesn't like the teacher, they will not learn from you. And I'm not talking about performance. I mean, literally struggle with the work. They won't believe you when you tell them that they got it.
Right.
So you have to build relationship. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I used to do anonymous feedback surveys, and I'll never forget the little boy is like, I hate your class. I was like, wow. But he never said, I hate you.
Mm.
I hate your class. And so I dig a little, well, why don't you like it? Well, I always change my desk because I'm an English teacher. So we're doing Socratic seminar. We do like the desk moved. He did not like that.
Mm.
Well, let me dig a little deeper. My student is autistic. So autistic students, I need to give you a warning.
Yeah.
So it's not a big thing. I'd be like, hey, tomorrow, because we're going to talk about the novel, I'm moving the desk into circles. Now, that doesn't mean that he and I became best friends and he was my favorite student and I was his favorite teacher. No, but it's a simple fact that he told me the truth. I tried to figure out what was going on. And I was like, oh, got it. Now, he still probably hated my class. I don't know. He made good grades, or I was too loud or whatever it is. But you have to build some type of relationships. I felt like in that part, he realized that I'll be like, hey, tomorrow we're going to test. The desk will be in rows. And that was it. Or sometimes I would just say it out loud to everybody. I'm not going to single him out. Hey, y'all know I'm going to stay late. I'm changing the desk. Okay. Tomorrow when you come in, you're going to have new seats. They'll be like, oh my God. Okay, whatever. And so build a relationship with the students. My sister's a mental health therapist. Shout out to her. She be helping me. Thank God. And she was like, hey, that's what you do. Send out a Google form survey. Ask the kids what they like to eat, their favorite snack. Because, we always buying food. I'm in middle school. I'm always buying food. Their favorite songs. If they could be DJ for a day, what would they play? And I think the other one was when their birthday is. And then I kept a Google form, and I was like, okay, it's December 1st. Who birthday coming up? And you know what I would do? It wouldn't even be anything big. I would use a classroom screen, and every class would come up and like, oh, shout out Timothy White because today his 13th birthday. And it would just be on the screen. And the kid, okay, what's up, Tim? Happy birthday, Tim! Happy birthday, Tim. That's it. We would sing a song. I learned how to sing it in Spanish. A little bit of Creole. The kids was laughing at my Creole. Don't be laughing at my Creole. But
hey, now we got to put you on the spot. Do it.
No. I always had a student in there and start like Creole, and they would start it, and I'd be like, like they knew. They were like, because they were like, you look Haitian, but you're not. I'm like, I know. I'm not. I'm a black girl from Virginia. Sorry. And so that's building relationships. It's simple things like that. Like here in Memphis, they want Rotel. I didn't know what they were talking about. It's like Rotel.
What is that? Are you talking about like the stuff in the can stuff?
Where I'm from, it's called dip.
Okay.
So the can, and then they want the Velveeta cheese.
Yeah. Okay.
Put it in the crock pot.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. I was like, they won't. So I finally asked the teacher, I said, what's Rotel? She was like, oh, the dip. I said, oh my God. So one class, we had an attendance problem. We had an attendance for the whole class. I was like, y'all don't come to school. I don't even know how many students really in this class because y'all don't come to school. 2 weeks, 90% attendance because it can't do 100. Nothing's 100%. We having a Rotel party.
Dang, the power of the Rotel was that strong?
The power of the Rotel, but that's building relationships because on that thing, they said that's something that they love.
Right.
That Rotel, nobody told me Velveeta was expensive. I had to go to Sam's Club and Costco to get that because I was like, y'all crazy. And I did 2 versions because I had some students who did not eat sausage.
Got you.
So I did a little crock pot. I had to go back crock pot. So a little crock pot and a big crock pot. The smell of Rotel coming down the 8th grade hall. I had kids. I was like, you're not even in my class. What you exit? And of course, I'm going to feed the teachers. I'm going to feed the staff. Feed the front office. So I made extra. So, but y'all got to bring the chips. Bring the chips. I got the drinks. I got the Rotel.
Y'all bring the chips. I got it. That's what's up.
And they brought it. So just something simple. You don't have to go all out.
Right. I don't know. Maybe I'm gifted when it comes to relationships, and I just didn't, and I never knew it. I don't know. I will say on most of my evaluations, that is, no matter what the placement. I've taught in suburban, I've taught in urban. Currently, I'm teaching in rural, and on my evaluations, relationships is always one of my strongest or highest marks or whatever. But I've always
got it.
I've always thought it was just so simple. Like when people struggle with it, but maybe that's my gift and it's not theirs, and I gotta respect that.
So yes, and it could be a yes and.
Okay.
If you know that's not your gift, so like I'm gonna be honest, my gift is that too. Like building relationships, even with the adults, like checking on my teachers, even when I was just another teacher. That is a gift that's built in you. It's part of your personality. I knew my gift was not, I hated exit tickets and like closing the lesson. I hated it. I was like, why am I closing the lesson? My teacher's getting tomorrow. Like, what are you talking about? I just couldn't get that concept. But I knew I had to work on it. So I had a checklist. And I built it into my lesson plan. I built it into my PowerPoint. I built it into the timer. And so when we're all adults. Stop playing. Before anybody even need to observe you, you can tell that Mr. White across the hall, the kids are dapping him up and they looking at you saying, good morning, and keep walking. Or they're not saying anything. There's a problem. And the kids will tell you, they'll be like, I don't like so-and-so. I'm like, you don't like their class. You don't like the subject they're teaching. What is it? What is going on? They don't like us. Kids know whether you like them or not. And it has nothing to do with color. I've seen my friend, I told her, you're like a white girl for real. Like you ain't gay. You just a white girl. She was like, I know. Kids love her because she just being the white teacher. She not trying to be down. They be laughing and joking with her. She be like, no, I would say this and see, does it sound right? And they be like, don't say that ever again. Like, and then they be like, you sound like Miss Gordon because she can't. Some slang sound crazy coming out of my mouth. Like,
right.
Being yourself and understanding you still have the authority. and just greeting kids and just checking on kids. Oh, that's cute. Girl, look at your hair. Okay. Okay, you got some new weave. I can say that. But you might be able to say, you know what, your hair looks really good today.
Right.
Or I tell my boys, I'm like, everybody put some lotion on their face this morning. Praise God. Come in here, Ashley. You have to build a relationship with your kids.
Yeah.
Now, my Spanish students, they didn't know I understood Spanish. And I said, ¿Qué? ¿Qué es tú no? Oh, no. And they was like, I said, yeah, your whole conversation, girl, you need to leave him. And she was like, ah. I was like, yeah, you know what you need to work on. And then if I'm coming to you, I'm like, Mr. White, what do you do to have this relationship with the students? I need to come observe you. Because that is a part of observation, coming in and say, okay, what is he doing? Like, how is he getting them to come? Like, they be like, oh, they running around his room. Who running around somebody's room? What? So, huh? And I was like, Mr. White just had the whole class. Same boys, same girls. And all they did was walk across the hall and they acting like they lost their mind. Okay, now I need you to observe Mr. White.
They better not observe me. They better not, because I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant, but I don't know. It's just different, man. It's just different. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's the tone and how I say things or whatever, but I
mean, and it's all of that. It is all of it. They do need to come observe you, because there's some little things that you do. Like, I observed an amazing teacher. She's the one about the phone thing. And I realized instead of fighting the kids with the phone, when the kids walk in, there's a timer on the board. You get 10 minutes to get your phone affairs handled. I was like, phone affairs. Then I observed from the dance teacher. She brought the power strips, because, dance, you take your shoes off.
Yeah.
She brought power strips and put them across the back where the shoes are. And you can plug in your phone and put your phone in your shoe. And she don't have to fight about phones. I'm in the Family Dollar, got the shoe, the over-the-door shoe rack, numbered each one and numbered my desk. Benita come in, I'm sitting at desk 16 anyway, that's my seat, my phone, my watch, my headphones, and if I want to charge it, it's another table. I can charge, I had 16 power thing, the towers. I bought the things. If you steal my plug, you better bring your own, because if y'all steal them, they gone. I had kids I didn't even teach coming in. Can I leave my phone in here charge? I'll be like, yeah, come on. And you better not touch somebody else's phone. We got $25,000 worth of merchandise right here.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
I had to, because I think that's grand theft. You going to jail.
Right.
I'm pressing charges.
Yep.
So don't touch anybody's stuff. And you would hear the kids say, hey, can I unplug your charger right here to plug my charger in, because mine is a little bit bigger? And they'd be like, yes. Because that's common sense. That's courtesy.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I'm going to send a teacher to observe your class. Yes, I am. Because I need you to get whatever it is, even if you don't pick up nothing but greeting the kids at the door.
Right.
Something is missing. So, yes, thank you, Mr. White.
That's fair. Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, Miss Gordon, we got to have a part 2. We got to.
Let's go, part 2.
We got to have a part 2 down the line, because you got my brain going, and I'm just like, oh man. So if anybody wants to connect with you or follow you or see what you up to, and even check out your podcast, Education Concierge, where can they connect with you?
Look, I'm in these streets. No, I'm playing. You see me in the street. The streets are calling my name. I am on social media. I'm on TikTok, the Edu Concierge. Instagram, same thing. Facebook, same thing. The podcast is on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, the Education Concierge Podcast. We'd love for you to be a subscriber and come on in and get our numbers up so we can get some more money. And you can contact me. You can slide into my DMs professionally. Unless you're single and you're a black male, because I only date inside my race. I'm on LinkedIn the most, though. So if you really want to connect with me, you can send me a message on LinkedIn and just let me know, and we'll go from there, email, and we'll meet on Zoom, and then you'll tell me what you need, and then I'll tell you how much it costs, because we don't work for free. And last year's prices are not next year's prices, because thank you, government people.
And there you have it.
There you have it.
Thank you.
You know what? I appreciate you and this podcast, and for bringing people on and discussing education, and just we can talk about it, because the reality of it is that people get scared when we start talking about education, and they think we're going to throw out these big words, and they don't understand, they can't follow. And it's not that serious. It is, but it's not. And once we get past that part, at the root of it is I'm teaching human kids to be human beings.
For sure.
That's it.